This is my first one of these, so.
Yeah, I'll just do a little introduction.
Oh, sure.
Turn it over to you, and you can give us some background on it.
Sure.
Great, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, he's here. He's here.
Oh, there it is.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Let's see how you been. All right.
Joe Sylvia?
Joe was on vacation. Yeah. Joe's in Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so we are live in the recording. Welcome. Welcome to the Residency Board meeting for August 1st, 2024. Members of the board present are myself, Corporation Counsel, Councilman Owusu Anane, Councilman Kelly Kimbrough, and Councilwoman Joyce Love. A quorum being present, and David Gallen, representing the mayor's office. So we have the full board. We have the full board present today. Also present is Chris Powers from the Water Department and Attorney Linda Keller from the Water Department, and our illustrious City Clerk, Jackson. That's everybody. I got everybody. So we'll just jump ahead and get right to it. We have one item on the agenda today, and that is an application for an applicant to be hired at the Water Department in the title of Senior Accountant. Attached to today's agenda in front of you, you have the Residency Board application, which outlines some of the reasoning and the basis for this request. Also attached to the email invite was the list of all of the applicants that were received for this position. I didn't put those out just long, but you do have that, and I will turn it over to Chris Powers from the Water Department for some more information and background on the request.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a position that we were looking to fill for probably 3 months. We had a person in there before that was, I would call a short timer, Xiaoting Liu, who joined about a month after I did in November of 23. So she had taken another position at the Department of Health. I think there was a lot of people to the Department of Health, but it's this position that's second to me. I would like it more towards a controller type word as opposed to senior accountant. And it's there's a skill level there that accounting certainly had, but had been vacant even previous to that. There's been a lot of turnover in that department prior to my arrival. I think a couple came over here. Jessica, I think Carpenter, I think had filled that role, who is here now in payroll. So, but this position is one where it's, I would liken the water department to an engineering firm, at least at this point, and the number of projects that they have going on at one time was staggering. I didn't realize that was going on when I joined the water department. So they have a number of engineers, and not that great of a liaison to the finance department. That position specifically manages the projects, and then the never-ending funding. We don't pay for projects out of our pocket. We pay for projects by borrowing bond issuances and grants and things of that nature. So that's the sort of acumen you have to have in that position to know bond accounting, to know finance, to have that in kind of background, even in grant application. That's not really specific to that job. We have Bill Simcoe for that, but to know finance is imperative in that job, and it's a hard role to fill, particularly at that salary. So when someone comes along that does fill that, it's we try to make that happen. So this position had been out there for I'd say at least 3 months that we've been advertising it. There were some applications to it that we did some phone interviews, but it just wasn't worth pursuing, given I had been there 8 months already, knowing what the requirements for that job were. And when we had the application from Linda, we recognized that she had worked for BBL, very big construction firm here in the city, if not the biggest, for 25 years, doing exactly that type of work, project accounting, and with a great record. Very well. Talked to myself, Joe Coffey, and our resident consultant Bill Kahn, who works for UHY, who's the auditors for City Hall. So She came off great, was an excellent candidate. And she only had the one problem that she lives in, technically in Colony, but with an Albany address. I've never figured this one out, but it's that short kind of layover there. That's almost, it's held us up a few times before, but she didn't think it'd actually be a problem, but she's technically in Colony, even though, she has an Albany address. I haven't figured that one out yet, but so we, after waiting several months, given on top, we, just to back up a little bit, we had 100%, I don't know if it's me, but when I joined in, September of last year, we've had 100% turnover ever since. So my predecessor left, and one of our people came over here, Catherine Marino was in HR, and then, we lost another 30-year employee, who came over here as well at part-time, and, Deborah Grant. So those two had a very large experience piece of job that you can't learn in school. You just have to do that job. They worked the payables piece. They worked a lot of HR. They did a lot of administration specific to the relationship between the water department and City Hall Treasury here, which you just have to learn it. So we lost a large knowledge base there and had to replace them. And obviously my predecessor, Tom Dufresne, who had been there for 7 years, did most of the work, and Jessica Carpenter, who had left about maybe 6 months before I joined, I think. So be that as it may, it was imperative to get some talent in there pretty quickly. We thought that we had that with Champagne, but she was too talented. She's CPA, that role, she got a better job, higher paying position somewhere else. But we think we've right-sized the department now. We've had some good hires with an accounting one, an Albany resident, attempted to work with another accounting one, Talisha Winter. Sorry, who's an accountant two, and they've been great. So I think with this hire,
Both of them are city.
they're both city residents. So Linda would be quasi the only even the temp is an Albany resident. So Linda would be the only one that would, by letter of the law, not an Albany resident. She's older. We inquired if we thought about moving in. So we have moved for the job, but she's fairly well settled out there. If we could avoid that, that would be helpful. She's in her 60s. She was at River Duty after 25, 30 years. Just had a career, but wanted to come back to work. Her husband passed away. I think her husband was ill for a couple of years. He passed away relatively recently, and she wanted to get back to work. So we definitely recognize her talent, and we definitely need it. No question about that. It's a much more complicated level of work than I certainly anticipated when I joined the water department. But yes, that's sort of kind of a 10,000 foot view, a little kind of review of her skills. We did, as I say, leave the job open for several months. The accountant two position was open for 3 or 4 months before that. We simply didn't have the time to keep these positions open for month after month after month. And she jumped off the page to Joe, to myself, and I said, this our side consultant Bill Kahn stuff. There's anything more specific? You guys have questions, I'll try to answer.
So this one was for you, right?
Sorry?
Is this one here? Correct. Okay. So does she has does she have any plans of moving into the city of Albany?
We mentioned it. We said, listen, this is pretty specific. You gotta live in Albany to work here. It's on the application. And then they give you some time to do that. And she recognized that. She has some family obligations. I didn't get in it too personally, but it appeared to me that it would be somewhat of a hardship for her to do that. So I don't know that it's completely off the table, but my view is that as of right now, it is.
So you're saying it's gonna be a hardship to her to move into the city of Albany?
Yes. I believe, I don't want to make something up here, but I don't know if there's a special needs child that's being addressed here. I haven't gotten into those details, but there is a reason
So she wants a job, but she don't want to move into Albany.
Yes, technically, yeah. Yeah, it's, this is,
For anybody to move right now is a hardship. Like, it just is, it's very.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, I understand, but I wanna make sure.
Oh.
I wanna make sure that she has the potentials. Of moving into the city of Albany, don't take the job for a year and then the job come up. When you can't go for another waiver, then you be looking for somebody else.
yeah, we're making every effort. I live in Albany. I want to hire a city of Albany employee that's right for that role. And we just weren't getting, we weren't getting anything, frankly, any actual applicants. And the ones that we weren't right for that role, or even one of the lower roles. This is a senior role there. So I'm happy to do it. Not to get back into her personal life again. She did literally just lose her husband. There's something with it. I don't know if it's financial. She's going back to work. A long-time home that is owned, I think, in the Colony area. So it was to, Marissa's point, yeah, it's a hardship on anyone. I think there's a little bit more of a hardship here, though, without getting into too specifics.
Any other questions?
The thing is, I'm fine with the year, but, I've been in my house for 27 years and I don't want to move, so it'd be a lot for me to move too. So the likelihood of her moving is unlikely.
It's not like.
But,
I would say it's unlikely, at least in the year, in the short term, but who knows? I'm not going to predict the future. But my, it was communicated to her by myself and that listen, that we want this employee, we need this employee. This is someone who's gonna fill a gap here that is sorely needed, and would be very unfortunate to lose someone of her caliber for residency. And I think that was kind of the bottom line to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and I share the same sentiment, I firmly believe in the residency requirement. I was on the council when it was passed, but if I was, I would definitely support it. And there's a lot that's happening in the city with people with the recent assessment. There's going to be a lot of people that taxes are going up. So we definitely want to encourage one to live in the city. If Albany is good enough to collect a check, it should be good enough for you to live in. There's many of us who are struggling, but under these circumstances and hearing that, a recent widow and a special needs educator, I totally feel for her. I will support this for 1 year, but I don't think I've ever supported after the year. So I'm gonna keep that streak going. I barely want to approve most people when they try to ask for a waiver. So under these circumstances, with it being a widow and having a special needs child, and I will support the waiver.
I support it. I agree with
if for me,
no, go ahead.
it's not even just about agreeing. I'm like the last year when we were doing this with folks, I'm selfish. The city needs this, so
Right.
I don't. Not that I don't care about her, but the city needs a good employee in that role. And you're saying it's a leadership role, so. But we want our leaders living in the city. That's.
We do.
I agree.
I wish that we had a senior account.
No.
That was the resident. I agree, we did, but
We held it open for.
stakes are so high here with the millions and millions of dollars. The water department does so much work that I just think we need to give them at least 1 year with this person. How long was it last?
6 months.
It was about 6 months, and
So
then
we
prior to
might
that,
take
it
it a
was,
year out of this person.
So what's the pay on this?
he's going to be making $80,000.
Somebody who's coming from home and into the work world, that's a good chunk of money.
She had that's a pay cut for her. She was making six figures at that.
Then when the council member is saying that's a retired person put into the workforce, it is not hard. But
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get the impression she was, doing it for fun. I think there's a reason she's coming back to work again without prying into her personal life. She's probably early 60s, I'm guessing.
And you call that old?
And I said older, by the way, I was on the record, Shaniqua? Okay, older. But it's, to Marissa's point, the volume of borrowing, the volume of complexity to this job is, I worked in New York City for 25 years, some of the, you know, PwC for 8 years, the complexity here is up there with anything I've ever seen. And, it needs someone to give it its due attention. We believe we have that right candidate. It's unfortunate we're trying to get, as I said, the rest of my 3 other people are Albany residents, which and they're great. And I want to hire from Albany. I live in Albany too, but this is a special job, it's a special need. We're trying, we're gonna keep interviewing,
But
but
the position stays open, right? Keep posting, it's open.
I don't,
The posting stays up.
I'd have to look into that. I'm not, that might, I don't know, we have to look into that one, frankly, but
If
it's,
we can, we will.
and, but it would fill a sorely needed role until, at some time, someone else comes along with, that's right, I guess.
So I move that we give her a 1-year waiver.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. The waiver for the 1-year period is granted for the senior accountant position. I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Have a great.